Hi there, and welcome to Fake Beans. This module has 9 beans in quotation marks on it, and each bean is either rectangular or round. But I'm sure, as you can see, some of these aren't really beans. Like, there's no way in good conscience if I saw those I would call them a bean, you know. So the normal stuff all applies. It has the number and color on it when you mouse over it. However, some of these beans are obviously imposter beans. Funnily enough, if you've played beans or cool beans, or you're familiar with the module, the valid ones are the ones you'd expect if you look at the table. So orange and round, yellow and round, and green and round are the only 3 valid. All the rest of this is invalid. So that's that part of the table. We need to consume 3 valid beans and no more, or else it'll strike us. And if we consume one of these fake beans, well, this fake bean indicator will give us a strike. So, we count the number of valid beans, 1, 2, 3. And we go to the statement that says if there are 3 valid beans, alright, if there are 3 valid beans, add up their colors using orange equals 0, yellow equals 1, and green equals 2. We have 3 green beans, so that's 6. And we'll keep it in the range 1 through 3 by adding and subtracting 3. So we'll subtract 3, and we eat the bean corresponding to that result. What this means is we don't eat bean 3. We eat the 3rd valid bean. Very important difference. So we eat bean 9 here. Great. Now there are 2 valid beans. We eat the first if there are an odd amount of rectangular beans. There are. But if there were an even amount, we'd eat the second. So we'll eat the first one. And then if there's a valid bean, eat it. Module solves. Move on. Let's find one with a few more valid beans. These are all 3 first. Here's one with 4. There are 4 valid beans here. Yellow, 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 orange. If there are 4 valid beans, start with the value of 1. Alright. 1. If there are an odd amount of purple beans, yes there are, add 1. 2. If there are an odd amount of pink beans, yes there are, add 2. Eat the bean corresponding to the value, which will always be a value 1 through 4 for 4 valid beans. So we eat the 1, 2, 3, 4th valid bean. Now there are 3 valid beans. We have yellow. 3, so we eat the 3rd valid bean. And lastly, we eat the second of the 2 valid beans if there are an odd amount of rectangular beans, and the second otherwise. We'll eat the second here. Module solves. Let's look for one with 5. I know it must be here somewhere. Here's one with 5. If there are 5 valid beans, only take the beans of which the color occurs once in this group of valid beans. So yellow here, and we'll apply either the 1 or 2 valid bean condition. For this, I feel like the way it's worded, it's always going to be the 1 condition. However, if there were valid beans which were, say, I don't know, there were 3 green and 2 orange, it might be the orange because it occurs less, but then it wouldn't occur once. So why would you apply the 2 valid bean condition for something that only... Anyway, if that occurs on an edge case, I would take the color that applies less. But for a majority of cases, this should be the eat the color that appears the least, or only once here. Now, 4 valid beans, we have a value of 1 here. Odd amount of purple, yes there are. Odd amount of pink, yes there are. We eat the 4th valid bean. There are 3 valid beans. We add up their colors. We have orange. 4 minus 3, 1. First valid bean. Module solves. That's about it for fake beans. If you're familiar with beans, obviously this goes a little smoother in finding valid beans because you can glance at it and go, oh, there's 4 valid beans here. I ignore all the rectangles, and obviously this purple imposter bean isn't fooling anybody. Shame on you. So there'd be 5 here, 4 here, 3 here, etc. That's all for this module. If this helped you, I hope it did. If this helped you, just let me know or go try the module yourself. And as always, thanks for watching. Hopefully now you understand fake beans just a little bit better.